What's going on, guys? Welcome on into today. Today is Tuesday, August 15th, and we've got a trade recap. So today, if I pull it up here on TradeZella, $6. Let's freaking go. We made, I'm calling this a break-even day. We had one win, one loss, one literal break-even trade. To be honest, you know, I probably could have spent my time better elsewhere today. But it is what it is. So you get the screen time, you do the work, you put it in, and then you see what happens, and that's it. And then do the trade review. So that's what we're here to do, and we're gonna review this. It should be pretty straightforward, pretty quick. So first trade of the day was IWM, then Tesla, then NVDA. So we traded 3 different stocks. Did we really need to? Nah. You probably could have just. It could have been a one and done. Looking back, and I'll show you why. So here's IWM. Why do we play this one? Why was I looking at this one? Well, look at the charts. This has been in a clear downtrend. So if you're playing shorts, right? Great. That's on our side. So clearly been downtrending for weeks now. Lower highs, lower lows, right? And we broke below the low of yesterday. Now, going in, I was somewhat skeptical because why? Well, guess what? Every time we make a new low, right, we're getting a bounce. So I knew I had to be kind of quick. And I was like, okay, if we get this new low, we got to, hit it and quit it, move on, one and done, half hour, and we're out of here type of deal. Obviously, we weren't out of here in a half hour, but we still made $6. So I guess I got to go, whatever, do something with that. But either way, no. So 1 hour chart, look in the breakdown. I drew this line in from yesterday's low. I then come back in, 5-minute chart. Do we get something I like? Kinda. We came down to that level, that low. We undercut it by a second. And then we ended up bouncing. I entered this looking back too early. It would have been a better entry on the second attempt. Looking back, I entered here. I'm just playing it. Hey, we're early in the day. It was 8:45, 15 minutes after the open. We broke below yesterday's lows. We broke below under low of pre-market. I'm looking for a move. My stop loss was VWAP. And looking back, the stop loss idea was valid, but what ended up happening was we came just above VWAP, then fell off. So to be honest, there was a miss in terms of my stop. And I played this Friday's contracts. I was looking for next week, but there was like no volume on the ones I was looking at for next week. So I was like, I'll just play this week and I'll play it with a little bit smaller size so that the risk rewards, is still $100 for 10%. And it ended up being just north of 10%, but technically I needed to risk it to so I lost on the trade like 120. If I was to leave that to like 135, an extra $15, I would have stayed in the trade. And then I would have literally, just barely been stopped out or just shy of stopping out. And then I would have been able to capture the downside. But even that, the downside wasn't clean. It wasn't a very momentum-based move, right? Move down, and then look at this. Look at all these wicks, all this chop. And it was like, I was looking for 188. We got 188.10. So it came 10 cents away from my ultimate target. The entry point was around 188.60. So I was looking at about, a 40-cent risk, 60-cent reward by the stock. And then obviously if it went more, I would have been scaling out. But it didn't happen. It is what it is. So looking back, I think the trigger finger got the best of me there, as in I just saw the level and I was like, hey, we got to be quick here. You don't have to do anything. You don't do anything. I didn't have to do anything. So that was a mistake on my end. Then the next trade was Tesla, and I'll pull up Tesla's chart. Same, very similar, idea here with Tesla's chart. You can see that we're the same deal, right? Lower, this is weak stock, right? Trending lower, right? Clearly, you've got lower highs, lower lows, right? Into this level, we're just breaking down below yesterday's lows. And then I ended up playing Tesla at 9 a.m. my time, so I can jump over to the Tesla's chart. 9 a.m. my time was the look, and we can kind of see there's some more action going on right now. But if you look back to 9 a.m., that was when we had this low of day break right here. So I marked off the low of this morning's pullback. And classic setup is on one of these weak stocks, as we're breaking down below lows, in this case, we're breaking down below lows of pre-market and whatnot. Are we near yesterday's lows? Are we near relative low for momentum? Yeah, we were. Not at the lows, but we were close, which I will still take that. Make a lower high, all that great stuff. We're below VWAP, and so we kind of had this big move down, consolidation for a second, and then it started to break. We were green. It went to right around here. My stop loss on this trade was up at the VWAP area. So it ended up starting off here, and that slowly moved down as time went on. I find that's been a really good signal of kind of momentum, right? If we stay below VWAP, even if I, mistime the entry or get the entry wrong, right? The trade's still valid as long as the trend is still going your way. And it worked. It would have been even better. I ended up scaling out into this move right down into here. I scaled out 3 out of 4 contracts, and then the last one stopped me out just north of break even on the last contract. Looking back, though, had I had that stop loss, let's say I left that stop loss at the trailing stop loss at the VWAP, we still, even on a choppy day, we still stayed below VWAP and we made these lower highs, and then we ended up going to new lows. So technically speaking, this is something I want to work on. It's not as easy to do, I feel like. It's much easier said than done in hindsight, but this was a scenario where, yeah, you totally could have stayed in this trade, and even if it did backtest, you would have been red on that last contract. You would have secured green. You could move that stop loss down little by little as these, lower highs are developed under VWAP, and that VWAP kind of moves down. And it could be a play that could have made more, I guess. But all considered, though, the trade timing was here. You back test up into here. The timing is off, even though the setup still technically would have worked. So I'm not going to get mad at it. I'm not like I'm mad at it, but that was the trade there. So it made 126. The first one lost 120. It actually was on pace to make like 150 or more if I took the last contract off when I took the second to last contract off. But I had that last one in case it went, a lot lower, in case we really pushed, didn't get the push. It is what it is. So you can kind of see the P&L curve, right? Pushing up, scaling out, and then as we started to come back, I didn't want to give back the gains, so we have a take profit or the stop loss. We move the stop loss as we into take profit. So that was the deal on Tesla. It's pretty straightforward, but that was it. And then the NVDA trade was the last one that I want to pull up. This one was really nice today, but it ended up just not really going for it. It worked, but it just it didn't really go for it. And I only could play one contract because I was like, I can't, this is too volatile of a stock, too risky. I can't go out to next week because they have earnings next week. So I had to play this Friday's expiration. Playing this Friday's expiration, it's volatile. The stock moves a ton. So you had to play it small. But I saw this level right here. We had this high, or this, I guess, lower high compared to here. But we had building higher lows, got back above VWAP, and I was like, let's just see. This is a strong stock. And it worked. We had the trade right. Same as like IWM, the trade idea was there. It worked. The trade technically was in take profit and nicely in take profit. But I just didn't take profits where it was. I was looking for a move closer to 450. We got 448.22. If we got 449, I think my take profit would have probably hit. But I was going into this trade saying I'm risking 50 to make 100. So risking a half of an R. As 1 R is $100 as of right now, risking a half R to make 1. And we were into green on the break. So once I got into nice green and I was up, a half an R or so, I was like, I'm not going to let this become a red trade. Worst case scenario, I have a break even day. That's totally fine. And so we ended up getting stopped out. Didn't really get momentum because, again, this move, right? These little breaks, they occur, but then they were followed by pullbacks. So you're not getting momentum. Like if you're going to get momentum, like we get a level that breaks, and maybe a back test, and it goes. Like it should go pretty fast. It's not going. So to be honest, coming away with a break-even day in this environment, I'm happy with, because just we're not getting it. Now, again, when is that going to come? When is that momentum going to come? I don't know. When is it? Maybe it never comes. And or for weeks, I don't know. But if you miss that day or 2 or 3 that it starts, the opportunity cost is very large. So I just need to do a better job of making sure that I'm watching price action. And when you see it, and because you'll see some nice fluid movements up or down, whatever way we decide to go in the market when that momentum comes back. So taking it easy, but also we're still here and still going to operate the strategy, because you don't know when it's going to work really well and when it's not. Like there are some signs that tell me, hey, this is time to chill. But at the same time, that could change any day. And the longer that goes, after 2 weeks, right? It's been about 2 weeks now of kind of like pump the brakes. You know, this doesn't last forever. There could be a 3-day stretch of boom, 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 and you have some big time days, big momentum. And, you know, and then it kind of goes back to chop for a bit. So who knows? But that's kind of where my head's at on this. There'll be a link to TradeZella where we track all this stuff. I've got a review video. It's been my 1-year anniversary with TradeZella. So I got a review video coming out on TradeZella soon. That'll be up on the channel one of these days. My honest thoughts, like what it has to offer and stuff, if you want to check it out. But I'll leave a link to that. That'll be linked up in the description box of all these videos now, as it's something that I use every single day, like TradingView and other stuff that I link down below as well. So that's today's trade recap. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Technically, it's a green day. I'll call it a break-even day. But let's see if we can put something together tomorrow. I'm glad it was not red. That's what matters. So I'll see you guys in the next one.